All right, live from S3C, S3C here in Paris. I'm very, very happy to welcome on stage Kevin O'Donovan. Welcome. Kevin, you are Worldwide Sales Director, Energy Industry within Intel. Welcome. So my first question is quite simple. What Intel and how Intel is involved in the IoT industry?
Well, thank you. So from an Intel perspective, we see the whole IoT industry, as it's been come to known, it's an opportunity for adding more intelligence and intelligence computing out into more and more use cases and industries and ways people use technology. So it's a democratization of computing technology, if you like, for the masses.
So the usage will be much more attractive, of course, than the technology. So how is the development right now? Are you going to launch the new chips or with captors? Is it still in the lab? Which are the states of development of such technology right now?
So in Intel, we're driven by Moore's Law. So it's a relentless pace of new innovation driven by new capabilities that marches on, all of us in the silicon industry. So every day, just today, or yesterday actually, we announced the latest generation of our computing technologies, the Core family, the 6th generation, for what we would typically call the client devices. But what we're starting to see, especially in the IoT, is that where people took technology that was typically, say, in your laptop or your tablet, they're now embedding that into devices that are in your home, they're in your car, they're in your factory, they're on the street. So people are taking let's say, the technologies that we've had and the new ones, because they're smaller, faster, you don't need a fan, etc. And they're putting compute technology into areas that we've never had before. So for smart street lighting, smart parking, smart factories, smart everything. So that's what's revolutionizing. It's the ability of people to innovate using technology building blocks.
All right, but I'm quite afraid, Kevin, because during 10, 20 years, 30 years maybe, I heard about Intel inside, but within the IoT, it's going to be Intel outside and Intel everywhere. You're going to change the baseline of the firm if you widespread Internet of things everywhere, Kevin.
Well, let's say the pace of technology is not slowing down, and to be honest, whether it's Intel, ARM, AMD, IBM, all of us in the technology industry, ST Micro, many more, there's more and more compute being used, and yeah, it's becoming almost ubiquitous. You know, if we were here 5 or 6 years ago and we were chatting about the fact that you'd have a mobile phone in your pocket that can do all of the functionality that we can't live without today, we'd probably have said, that's Star Trek in the future. We just see the relentless pace of technology. And to be honest, it's driven by innovation of people, especially the new maker community, where they're able to take the technologies from all of our companies and make new stuff, for stuff that makes sense to them. That's what's democratizing this whole industry, if you like.
It's tremendous. So now I see that you're located in our Silicon Valley here in France, in Sophia Antipolis. So now let's shut the eyes and let's go into the future in the coming 5 years. So thanks to the Intel technology, we have IoT everywhere. Could you describe us what will be our coming future in the 5 coming years?
If I could look that far into the crystal ball, I wouldn't be here. I'd be off in setting up lots of companies. What I do see is that the ability of us to interact with our environment, say, take my energy. Today we you flick a switch and the energy's on. I would see, particularly say in the energy space, it'll be the concept of it's my energy. I may be generating it on my roof. It's in my battery in my electric car. So technology will enable us to be able to democratize these things. And if I want to control my energy or my health or track my pulse, my blood sugar, my whatever, I can do that. Now, obviously, the flip side of that is that how do we deal with privacy and security? And that is something that European governments the world over, everywhere, are looking at. And how do you define privacy? How do you set rules, regulations? You may see privacy different to me. How do we set up technology? Technology, in some cases, there is not the hard part. it's the regulation and legislation and doing the right thing. And if somebody does the wrong thing, then there has to be consequences.
So that's quite clear, and that's quite is to be continued, I should say. Kevin, as a conclusion, so Intel has announced a new generation of solution. What will be the next step in the coming weeks, days?
So I mentioned earlier that just yesterday we announced our core processor, next 6th generation. A couple of weeks back we announced we have multiple families for what we put in data centers, what we put into people's computers, what you do in IoT, what you put in wearable devices. That's going to continue. What we're starting to see more, and our CEO spoke about it at IDF a couple of weeks back, is adding the concept of sensing technologies to devices. So they see us, they hear us, we can interact with them in non-keyboard mouse ways. So
directly and
augmented reality. We're seeing a lot of things around heads-up display, wearables. So the way that we interact with technology, now we talk about making computing personal. In the next couple of years, computing is going to become personal in ways we never even dreamt of.
It sounds tremendous. So thank you for this elements, this information. Please, Kevin O'Donovan, please come back anytime on this platform to provide us new information. Thank you very much. Kevin O'Donovan, Worldwide Sales Director, Energy Industry, Intel. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.